Okay, MegaWhale team, we have our second technical analysis for the week. Today we're going to be taking a look at Icon, otherly known as ICX, the ticker. We're going to start like we did with the one chain video. We'll start on the shorter time frame, talk about what's happening on the shorter time frame, then expand to a larger time frame to figure out where exactly we see the price going in the near and distant future. Alright, so to start, we're just going to be focusing on market patterns. We're going to go into a little bit more detail, but I still want to keep this video nice and short and sharp, just so everyone can understand what's happening. So to start with, we have a symmetrical triangle. We noticed we did actually break down the last few days, last 10 or so days, the whole market's been on a downtrend, but we've consolidated here in a symmetrical triangle. Now, we are going to do a learn to trade video on symmetrical triangles, but we're going to go over it a little bit over here real quickly. So a symmetrical triangle is a continuation pattern. It is a neutral pattern, but it does break down to the downside more often than not if the price enters from the top. So if the price enters from the top, we're more likely to break to the downside, and vice versa. If the price enters from the bottom, we're more likely to exit to the upside. So where do we see this price going, judging by the fact we've broken out? So we can see we broke out, we retested that support as a resistance, we flipped it, and now we're going to confirm that breakout on the way downwards, and we're confirming a downtrend. So we're going to take a measured move. To take a measured move on a symmetrical triangle, we're going to place a line at two places. We're placing a line at the top of our peak, touching that resistance. It usually is a second touch. And we'll place a line at our base point. So from here, we're just going to measure the distance between these two key data points, drawing a vertical line upwards. We'll color it in orange, and then we're going to place that vertical line at the breakout point. So according to the measured move, we're going to expect a drop down to about 87 cents. So we're just going to move our red line there to mark it out, and we're going to take a look at the wider chart. We're going to take a look at the long term, and we're going to see if this holds true to what the long term chart is telling us. So let's swap over to a larger time frame. We're going to need to look at least maybe, we'll see, we can go daily to start with, but we'll probably have to come down over to a week. Let's let chart load for a little bit. Sometimes it takes a while if there's all the chart data. Here we go, perfect. All right, so we're going to take our long-term trend line from the peak of our all-time high, crossing down, and this is going to come to our May local high, and we can see that this is a perfect trend line because we can confirm with a breakout here, rejection, breakout, retest, crash below, and look at this, we have a retest and drop over here. So this is not great news for Icon. Obviously it's confirming that this trend line is now intact again. We did temporarily break out here, but we have found our way back under the trend line and actually tested it as a resistance. So it's not looking too good there on that daily until we get back over this trend line. So as goes with most altcoins right now, they're actually still under their 2018, 2017 all-time high resistance. There are some newer coins that came out in the last year or two that have pumped up, but you're looking at your 2017, 2018 coins. Most of those are still finding resistance from their previous all-time high. So where do we think the price is going to go? Let's draw our trend line, our support line. We're just going to take that one across and draw it in. Perfect. All right, here's our support line, and we can confirm that's our support line because we've had two separate tests. We had our double bottom, our bullish divergence we had over here. We'll bring up the RSI in a second. That was our bullish divergence. That was a buy signal on the 21st of July, and the market went up. We have a numerous amount of tests over here and consolidation around that support zone, and our obvious bottom at the end of the COVID crash in 2020. So looking at our measured move, it projects that we're going to come down to 86 cents. So if we're going off market patterns alone, we would expect Icon to come on down into this range here. Now this could happen between now and I would say the end of this consolidation period, which is early February. So the next move we're expecting Icon to do is obviously a continuation of this downtrend into this range here. Now if Bitcoin decides to go to $43,000, which we do believe it will, this move will play out. We will see this happen. This will be a perfect buying point because it touches a long-term support line, which has held for over a year now, to re-enter the market for a continuation upwards and hopefully a re-breakout and hold above this trend line. So what happens if the price continues upwards from here instead of downwards to this 80 cents range? When would you buy? So that's a pretty good question. We're going to take a look. So we're looking for that heavy resistance zone, which is around $2. Now, first off, we have 2 points of contact, which are here and here. This confirms that this trend line is in fact a strong trend line and is being respected up until right now. So we can notice we have this $2.05 resistance zone. I think anything above this range here, and we have a retest and close, will be a great safe entry. But if you want to try getting lower, I'd be looking for a close above this trend line. If we get a green candle up from here and a retest, this retest point would be the perfect entry point for a continuation up here. Now the question would be, will we break above? We might reject, or we might continue upwards. But I would be looking for that entry point. Alright guys, so now we're going to take a look at indicators. The first indicator we're going to be looking at is the cipher indicator. You can find this one on TradingView. It is under this tab here, so market cipher B. Now the cipher is a great one for basically illustrating potential reversal points on the chart. We're looking for green dots, and that was going to signify a potential reversal and continuation of the uptrend. Particularly, we're looking for green dots as close to the -51 to -60 data points on this spectrum down below. So we can see that we haven't really seen a green data point on the 3-day chart for Icon yet. Now if we go down to smaller time frames, we have noticed green data points down below, but like I said before, smaller time frames are less accurate for price directions. The longer periods of time that prices consolidate, the more explosive or more accurate the projection is going to be when it breaks out. We did talk about this one in our Learn to Trade video about the rising wedge. The smaller rising wedges have higher failure rates compared to the longer rising wedges. The longer rising wedges have a higher success rate because the price will consolidate and strengthen during that consolidation period. So we're looking for the same thing here. We're looking for a green dot on a larger time frame. We can see on the 3-day chart, we haven't seen that yet. In fact, if we go to our larger time frames, we can see that we're still converging downwards on a market cipher. You can see that in July in our bottom, we had a green dot. We had 2 in fact, and these were very, very close to the bottom and signified a potential reversal was incoming. So as we move across to these larger time frames, we see that the price, as well as the market cipher, shows a more accurate representation of where the price is going to go. So we can see here we have one singular green dot signifying the bottom, a singular green dot signifying the bottom, again a singular green dot signifying the bottom. Of course, that is green dots higher to the negative, the 0, and the positive, a least favorable entry point. We want to get them under in the negatives, but we can see on Icon in the recent days, we're nowhere near to printing a new green dot. We've got a lot to go down before we get that indicator on the market cipher. So the market cipher is a good one. It's not my favorite one to use, but I have been looking at it recently. It's quite an interesting one. We're going to take a look at the bull market support band next. Now the bull market support band, now this one, again, you can find on TradingView. You just have to type in bull market support band. I have it in my highlighted over here if you want to find it. It's a really, really good one to indicate whether the price is an uptrend or a downtrend essentially. If we break over our bull market support band, most likely we're going to be continuing upwards. And simply if we break below it, we're going to be continuing downwards. We saw a very, very similar thing happen here. In July, we broke above our bull market support band. We came up, retested it, and we had a continuation. And over here, we break below it and we have crashed down. We saw that numerous times over here, here, and here. So what are we looking for? Well, on the 3-day chart, if we want to get the best entry, of course, we're not going to find the best entry going alone off the bull market support band on a 3-day chart. We're going to have to look at a smaller time frame. I would bring it down to a 1-day chart. We're looking for a crossover and retest of this support band. So most likely what we're going to see here is we're going to see the price continue downwards. We're going to see a little bit of consolidation as we enter this zone here. While that bull market support band catches up, the price will consolidate and we will cross over. This will be the perfect entry point here, the safest entry point. Obviously, if you can grab the bottom, we have a tight stop loss just below that line, and again, a perfect entry point. But this will be a safe entry point because this will confirm a new uptrend beginning. All right, let's take a look at one of my favorite indicators. This is going to be the Ichimoku cloud. Now the Ichimoku cloud may look a little complicated for those of you who do not know or haven't used it before, or even haven't seen it before. There's a lot happening here on this chart, and we are going to do a video shortly, maybe in a week or two, explaining how to use the Ichimoku cloud, how to trade it, and why it's effective. Essentially, anytime we're underneath the clouds, we're looking for short positions. We're not looking to enter in any longs or buy and hold any spot. The point at which reversal happens is when we break through a green cloud and we crack over the blue conversion line. All right, so at the moment we see we've dropped that blue conversion line, we crashed downwards, we're underneath our clouds. What we're waiting for here is a similar thing that happened in July, is that blue conversion line coming downwards, the price breaking above it and pushing through the red cloud. Now this is 21 day in advance, 21 day lead, so it will take a while to develop, but this is what we're looking for. The Ichimoku cloud does actually suggest that we are going to continue downwards for now. All right guys, so we've talked about the more shorter directions. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Let's talk about where we can see the price going in the long term. Now we did a similar thing with one chain. Where do we think the price will go? Well, initially we do believe that the price will come down to 80-ish, 84 cents. After that, where do we see it going? Well, we do believe that we will bounce at that level. We do have to wait and see though. We need confirmation first. Assuming we do bounce at that level, we're going to be looking to break some critical supports here, break some critical resistances. The first key one would be that $2.05 range, guys. Now that $2.05 range was a period of resistance up over here. Now we did fail to get above that and actually close a singular green candle above that. We can see in February 2018, we found that one as an initial support bounce zone after that crash. And we did see a huge jump up after that, which was 120, 130% jump up from that zone. So we're looking to clear that zone first. Now, assuming that the price does continue upwards from that 80 to 84 cent zone, and we do break above here, we will be creating a nice higher low as well as a higher high. Now this is incredibly bullish and will most likely continue upwards. We're looking for that retest on that zone and then a nice second wave up. All right, this second wave I'm assuming is going to be taking us higher than our $4.67 resistance. So I would say by mid next year, assuming that we do bounce here and break over $2.50, we're looking at about a $6 to $6.50 price target for Icon. All right guys, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave them below. Again, I like to try keep these videos no longer than 15 minutes. I want to try pack as much information as I possibly can in, but I want to make sure this information is still easily understood and not too complicated. If you would like me to go in more detail, let me know below. I might do extension videos on these coins with a little bit more details, maybe another 15 to 20 minutes. Other than that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to grow this to be the biggest YouTube channel in Australia for technical analysis, which is awesome, and we love to have you guys a part of it. Remember, Twitter link in description. Our Telegram channel is in the link in the description as well. And we'll see you in the next video. And the next one's going to be a ramp.